Yeah. We've got one in Vegas.
I got a Vegas trip in March.
I won't be able to sell furniture. Particular one, but I'll be back for the meeting at night, so.
So you did talk to Johnny?
I do have some goodwill
Yeah,
Life,
he's alive.
proof of life.
business coming up.
Family hasn't abandoned him.
But other than that, we don't
They
really
put
have
up a good, they had a good game.
any specific trips.
Betsy,
Yeah.
Good evening, and welcome to the Board Man All Business Meeting for January 20th, 2026. Let us all stand for the pledge, which will be led by Cub Scout Troop 49, followed by invocation by Alderman Gary Mays.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Let us pray. Our Father, we come tonight and just thank you so much for the blessings that you've given us. We just praise you, Father, for your glory and your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. Father, we pray that you give us wisdom as a board tonight. Help us to make decisions that are better for our community, to help improve our community. Father, we lift our city employees to you in prayer that you keep them safe, bless their families. And Father, we pray that all we do brings you glory. And just thank you so much again for your blessings. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
May be seated. Thanks to Cub Scout 49 and Alderman Mays. Mr. Recorder, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here?
Alderman Baker,
Here,
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Thank you. 6 of 7 board members are present tonight. So we have a quorum. The city manager.
All right, we'll move into recognitions and presentations. Tonight we have one, and that'll be conducted by Mayor Montgomery. I'd like to ask Gracie Delaney if she'd begin making her way to the podium. This is a proclamation in support of Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
Last month, the Community Coalition Against Human Trafficking reached out to us, and they're commissioned by the governor of the state of Tennessee to provide counter-trafficking services in the all of East Tennessee. And Gracie is the coordinator or liaison for our area. So if you will, understand that there are an estimated 2,100 cases of human trafficking in our area, East Tennessee. And in 2024, there were over 600 cases of human trafficking, which was a significant 30% increase in 2025. So it's a serious issue, and I understand that 90% of those trafficking are trafficked by someone that they love or know. So if you would allow me, I will do our proclamation. City of Kingsport Proclamation. Whereas human trafficking occurs when a person is recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, purchased, or obtained through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of performing labor or providing services or engaging in commercial sex acts. Whereas it is estimated that 27.6 million people are trafficked around the world, and as many as 2,100 in East Tennessee alone. Whereas human trafficking erodes personal safety, dignity, and liberty, as well as health and safety of communities at large. Whereas human trafficking does not discriminate based on age, sex, race, color, or national origin, but is, however, grounded in the inequitable conditions of relationships and society, and disproportionately affects individuals and marginalized communities. Whereas The need is great to remove the veil of secrecy that allows human trafficking to thrive, disrupt the system it depends upon to flourish, and mobilize community support around survivors of human trafficking and help them as they seek to recover and rebuild their lives. Whereas a unified response by allied professionals, law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, victims, services providers, healthcare providers, volunteers, and others in need to provide safety, justice, and healing to survivors, hold offenders accountable, and promote the welfare of the community. And whereas the Tennessee Counter-Trafficking Alliance, through the Community Coalition Against Human Trafficking East Tennessee, exists to educate Tennesseans about the realities and pervasiveness of human trafficking, foster collaborative intervention and prevention efforts. They provide cohesive, trauma-informed aftercare services to survivors, and they advocate for more proactive services. Whereas, during Human Trafficking Prevention Month and throughout the year, the City of Kingsport is provided an opportunity to celebrate the collaboration and work that has been done while rededicating ourselves to all that is still left to do, to reflect upon and to honor resilience, perseverance, and courage of survivors, and to encourage everyone to recognize that we all have an active part to play in protecting the most vulnerable in our communities and ensuring survivors receive the care, support, and service they need. Now, therefore, I, Paul W. Montgomery, Mayor of the City of Kingsport, and on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Kingsport, do hereby proclaim January 2026 as Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the City of Kingsport, and encourage all citizens to remember victims and survivors of human trafficking and reaffirm our commitment to end the exploitation in communities across the City of Kingsport. I want to give this to Gracie and let you say a few words if you like.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor Montgomery and the council, for being willing to proclaim January's Human Trafficking Prevention Month and allow me the opportunity to be here this evening. As Mayor Montgomery shared, we are the state-appointed human trafficking agency for East Tennessee, and we serve all 33 counties. You may also hear us referred to as Grow Free Tennessee, and that's our direct services program that offers those free community-based aftercare services to survivors of sex and labor trafficking, regardless of when or where they were trafficked, and we serve both youth and adults. We also offer free specialized trainings on how to recognize and respond to trafficking as well for law enforcement, healthcare professionals, other service providers, hospitality industry, just anyone and everyone who may come in contact with survivors, which really is anybody. As Mayor Montgomery mentioned, over 90% of trafficking survivors are trafficked by someone they know, trust, or love, such as a family member, an intimate partner, or even an employer. Sullivan County has our highest referral rate in these upper 8 counties. Knox County has a lot, but obviously that's a more populated area. So, training for anybody in this room this evening would be very beneficial for you guys. For Human Trafficking Prevention Month, we also are hosting a Comfort Care Kit donation drive. A Comfort Care Kit is something that our staff at our emergency shelter in Knoxville gives to survivors, and it's just a small reminder to these survivors that they're not alone and that they're supported by their community members. These items that we're accepting and these kits usually include hygiene essentials, toiletry items, a journal and pens, a phone charger, brand new clothing of all sizes. We have drop-off locations at the Branch House Family Justice Center in Blountville and at the Johnson City, Washington County Family Justice Center as well. Thank you again, guys, so very much for supporting human trafficking prevention efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. This is a portion of our meeting where we allow citizens to come to the podium and speak on any agenda items or any issue-oriented items. When you come to the podium, we ask you state your name and address and place it there on the roster there. And you're encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and you're limited to 5 minutes. So is anyone wanting to come and speak at this point in time? And as you come and sign your name and that sort of thing, and I always remind folks, We're willing to talk to you before the meeting, after the meeting, but we will not engage in conversation back and forth during your 5 minutes of time.
Distinguishing board members, I am Derek Browder, 1254 Union Street, if anybody needs to know address. President of Lynn Garden Pee Wee Football. On the agenda tonight is the funding of Phase 2. That being said, I've just got a little thing to read, statement to make. Based on minutes and agenda package from the school board member, it appeared that construction site had been construction of this school, it appears that the construction of the school is scheduled to begin a little bit sooner than 26. It was 20, we still get our football season, but after that, it was sounded like in the school board meeting that it was going to be a little bit earlier. Phase 2 of the project is set to begin according to the minutes listed of the proposal, the 2026, which will be included the site demolition and preparation for the new state. It also appears that the model located for the schools have been already determined according to certain meetings during the school board. Exhibits A, Phase 2 on the outline of the demolition. It extinguishes Linview Community Center to include asbestos and demolition and the disposal, existing football or baseball field, track, outbuildings, demolition. From previous discussion on record, no decision had been made for the exact location of the school. If accurate, then that is why the football field, why would the football field be set for demolition in the track area? Current Pee Wee football will not be completed until the first part of August 26th. Based on an agenda from the Kingsport Board, Mayor, and Alderman, November the 3rd, which was joint discussion with the Board of Education by Dr. Andy True, answered questions. This project discussion, therefore, leading the public to believe, public or me, to believe that the decision was made prior to the meeting. Also, the meeting, no one from Lynn Garden Pee Wee Football was given notice of the ability to present or accurate questions. We formally asked, me and the Football League, formally asked the Board of Education if there was a decision made behind closed doors without community's knowledge and decisions that would affect our community, especially our youth programs. That was made. That's what I had to say. Thank you very much for giving me a few seconds to speak.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wanting to address us tonight? And before you do, the timekeeper's over on the corner, so that's,
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Keeping
I
it-
don't think I'll take much time. I came about the data centers and the crypto. I was
Okay.
concerned about how that would affect our community, our residents. It's not about me, it's about our whole community. Knowing what I know, watching YouTube videos and knowing how fast 5G has come, and then the data centers are right behind them. And I know there are hundreds of them across the country. There's some, not too far from here. I think Bristol's looking. I just would urge us, for our community, not to bring that in where you're even within 500 feet of of residential because they're just loud, they take a lot of electricity, they take a lot of water, and people will not be happy if they're near residents. I mean, that would be my biggest thing. I mean, I see and read online about the 2,000 feet. I understand, and I just talked to Mr. Weems, and he was assuring me that he's tried to scrutinize it down to where if we do this, it will not affect our community like a lot of communities. I mean, I've not seen anybody on the YouTube videos that have been happy about them close to their homes and their residents, you know. So all that glitters is not gold, you know. So I just wanted to speak so you all will be very, very careful about what might come into the Kingsport city. I know Sullivan County put a moratorium on it as well. Tried to do a little homework, but you all do a lot more homework than I do. So thank you so much for all you did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wanting to come and speak? Seeing no one moving, we'll turn it over to Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no appointments on tonight's agenda. We'll move forward with the approval of minutes. First, from the work session on December 15th, 2025, and from the business meeting on December 16th, 2025. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
Board, you have the minutes of the December 15th and 16th. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any questions, concerns? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved. 6-0. City Manager.
All right, move into business matters requiring first reading or public hearings. With first public hearing on the agenda tonight is to conduct a public hearing and the consideration of an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance as it pertains to residential foundation requirements. Ken Weems, our planning manager, will walk through the presentation.
Thank you so much, Chris. So this text amendment here, dealing with residential foundation requirements, it was actually noticed by our chief building official who informed me that we need to update this portion of zoning text, and what he found was that the current requirement for underpinning is a 4-inch thick solid underpinning / screening for residential perimeter foundation enclosures. And he went on to explain to me that the industry standard and what the adjacent cities and towns use today is 6-inch width masonry, which we propose that change. And we also put in there about the fittings capable of carrying the applicable loads of a permanent perimeter on there as well. That will bring us up to date with current standards, and staff recommends holding the public hearing and acting on the Planning Commission's recommendation, which was a positive recommendation to pass the text amendment.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions the board might have.
I'll open the public hearing on this subject. Is anyone here to speak on this issue? Seeing no one move forward, close the hearing. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance amending section 114-131 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, pertaining to foundation requirements for residential dwellings, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval. Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'd just like to add that Planning Commission talked about this quite a bit, and the Planning Commission learned this has been usual practice for the city for many years. It's just clarifying it in our code. There's no change or anything like that. I think we discussed that in our work session this afternoon.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, the next item is also a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance as it pertains to data center and cryptocurrency mining land uses. Once again, Ken Weems, our planning manager, will walk us through the presentation. Ken?
Great, thank you so much, Chris. So this data center and cryptocurrency mining zoning text amendment, it seeks to find an appropriate location in the city for these to cite, essentially is what it does. And we have it set up, as we'll see, to be a special exception to be granted by our Kingsport Board of Zoning Appeals if one ever does come to the city in either principal use or accessory use to a lot. And I think we've really done a pretty good job of protecting the existing property owners and residents. We absolutely have. And I think, in general, we've given a fair shake to the data centers as well. And it's a pretty realistic ordinance, I think we'll see as we move forward. A little background information, staff began in earnest back in September of last year, really digging into the research on data centers. One great culmination is when I was doing the spatial analysis with our GIS, and we were able to determine in about mid-November what the appropriate buffer and decibel limits should be for the text amendment. In November, we did take it just for a little update to our planning commission, just to kind of do a little check on it to make sure we were going in the right direction and see if anyone had questions. Ultimately, that led to bringing it back in December for a planning commission positive recommendation to the board, which is what we're reviewing tonight. A little bit of agenda work. We're going to review the two new definitions, one for data center and one for cryptocurrency mining. And then we're going to take a much closer look at the proposed restrictions, special exception restrictions, if one of these is proposed as the principal use of a lot, or if one's proposed to be as an accessory used in a lot. The definitions, like I discussed in our work session, they're pretty, I don't want to say standard, but they're very similar across the board for all the different ordinances that I've researched and read over the last many months, even way before September, actually. For data center, it really comes down to the transmission of digital data, and then all the other things that make the data center what it is, the air handlers, the potential for a power substation to be on the property, even administrative offices that would go along with that. For the cryptocurrency mining, it's essentially, it boils down to cryptocurrency transaction verification and cryptocurrency release. All done in the context of what's called the blockchain, which is like a public ledger. It just proves that, yes, I spent this amount of cryptocurrency, and yes, this person received it for whatever the transaction was for. And I do have that note on that same slide, just as a reminder that all this, no matter what it is, what the proposal is, the approval authority, if this passes as is, will be our Board of Zoning Appeals via special exception. So if a data center was going to locate as a principal use here in the city, they first had to find an M2 zone. And the M2 zone carries our most land use intensive uses that we have here. So once you find that, there's several different criteria. The first two, one is a 100-foot setback from the property line. So the use has to be a minimum of 100 feet all the way around it from the property that it's on. The other one is to locate the data center inside a structure to house it and to shelter it. And then as the buffer requirements I spoke of earlier, there has to be a 500-foot buffer from whatever M2 zone parcel you find to any residential zone or use. So a house, or not even a house, just a residential zone, okay? And the whole idea is, when you look at the sound attenuation calculators, is if you have, worst case scenario, cryptocurrency mine operating, and they're putting out 60 decibels at their property line, then by the time you go 500 feet further out, that decibel is dropped into the low 40s, or the sound of a human whisper. So the whole idea is just to space these far away from any type of residential units, and if they are anywhere close, to keep the sound manageable so it doesn't impact the residential use. To help facilitate that, there's 3 actual studies that are required as well. First is the preliminary sound study that would be turned in with the special exception they're applying for through our Board of Zoning Appeals. Another one is a sound study during the permitting process that will be reviewed with the building construction plans, and then one after they've been operating for 6 months as an as-built study, just to confirm that if they are emitting sound, that it's 60 decibels or less at the property line. Given all those restrictions and where all of our current M2 zones are, we came up with this map right here on this post right here, or this slide rather, that shows which parcels have the M2 zone, or at least 1 acre in size, and are a minimum of 500 feet from all residential zone in use. The largest concentration by far is in the Riverport Road area, as you can imagine, co-located with many other industrial uses that we see out there every time we travel through our city. We did add a small parking requirement, just minimal for the small amount of people that be working there, one for 8,000 square feet or one for every employee, whichever is less. And then an important aspect of this is we also, via special exception through our Board of Zoning Appeals, have that data center available as an accessory use. If it is proposed as an accessory use in any of our commercial zones, it's a 2,000 square foot allowance, and we make it very clear that if you're going to do an accessory use, that cryptocurrency mining must not be an element of your accessory data center proposal to the Board of Zoning Appeals. You know, there's so much to be said about data centers and the emerging technology, and there's a big business right now is trying to figure out how to quieten these things down. The person that can make these things silent will be, you know, rich very quickly. And so, with having said that, I do believe we'll be back in a few years to change this ordinance a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be to loosen it up a little bit more, or essentially just to be more in tune with the emerging technology as things, you know, come along. Because once you take the sound and vibration out of these, a lot of things, a lot of the negative aspects of them go away. During their December meeting, the Planning Commission voted to send a positive recommendation to the board on this matter, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board has on this text amendment.
Okay, I'm going to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone wanting to speak on this matter at this point in time? I'm closing the public hearing. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance amending Chapter 114 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, pertaining to data centers and cryptocurrency mining, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'll say I appreciate the staff's recommendation with a measured approach to data centers and crypto. I agree with Ken. I was at a conference, it's been a few months ago, that said right now is the worst generative AI is going to be data centers and crypto. And I think as technology improves, I think we're going to, like you said, it won't surprise me if less than 2 years we're back looking at this item again. But I appreciate the measured approach, because I think a tendency sometimes with new technology is just to shut it down. But I think us just at least having that door open doesn't mean a data center is going to come to Kingsport. A lot of hurdles got to clear before that, but I appreciate the approach, Ken, that we're taking to this.
Well, thank you so much.
Other discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I would just like to add again that the Planning Commission and planning staff have worked very hard on this for 2 or 3 months, I think. And I would like to add, as I mentioned in our work session earlier today, that been speaking with sister cities, some officials, and in that conversation, they mentioned about using this zoning amendment as a role model for other communities and other cities. Is well written, well thought out, and that's I think a commendation to the city team and the city staff for working on this and being proactive. And all due respect to the earlier comments from the public, I agree that we need to be protective of our neighborhoods, and we all are aware of what's happened in the news and all the news about crypto mining. This M2 zone with the restrictions that are in our text that's before the board tonight, I think will accomplish those goals. And it doesn't stop data centers, because we already have data centers throughout the city. Our hospitals, our banks, other businesses have data centers already. This is the one that gets the news, is the crypto mining and the heavy CPU usage and the cooling systems that's involved. So that's what this zoning text represents. It doesn't address if there's a citizen that wants to do crypto mining and they have 5 PCs they want to dedicate to that effort, they can do that in their basement. It doesn't violate this zoning text whatsoever. So I think it's a good, the way it's written is well written to protect those that may want to invest in crypto mining at a small scale in their home, but it also limits what big business or anyone can come in and do in our city, and also limits where they can go inside our city with pre-existing manufacturing, which we already know the noise levels of that. So, thank you very much.
Oh, yes, sir, you're welcome.
Any other discussion?
And I understand that even if we pass this, it doesn't give a green light for anyone to come in. You still have to go before the BZA to get
Yes, ma'am.
permission,
The
so.
approval authority level will be with our Board of Zoning
So
Appeals. You're
even
right,
if-
that special exception is critical,
So
and
it-
absolutely, they have to have it.
So this, like I said, doesn't give anyone that wants to just come in and without,
Oh, no, there's a
Okay.
process.
And if I may, that's a great question. And there's a public hearing in that process as well, a public comment section. So it's not as though you can just, Google can come in and put a crypto mining facility in Kingsport without the public response and public knowledge of it.
Yeah, we do paper ad, and signs and the property and everything, and hold the public hearing right in this room, so.
so in doing this, we're just getting ahead of the balls.
Just get ahead of it before one, checks or inquires about coming here. And if they do, we'll have a framework to properly accommodate them. Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments, discussion? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 6-0. City manager.
Caught up here, all right. Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26. You see within the executive summary, 3 primary areas that we are addressing, 2 of which you will be taking up as you move through this agenda. The first is providing funding for police department purchase of drones. The other one is purchase will be done administratively for self-contained breathing apparatus for fire department. And then also moving funding in place for the purchase of additions to our fleet for the fire department. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
This is not the first drone the police department will have, correct?
Correct.
And we've got policies in place that dictate how they can use that, and
Sure do.
so there's not invasion of privacy, things of that nature.
Right, license requirements, whole 9 yards.
Any other comment or discussion? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now move into business matters requiring final adoption. Your first item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26. Again, this comes to you on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal '26 general purpose school fund budget and general project fund budget. Again, an item that comes to us from the Board of Education. It's on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
This is not new money from the school, from the city. They're taking this from their unreserved fund balance, correct?
Correct, yes.
So they're essentially funding it themselves. We just have to approve that transfer.
Right.
Any other discussion, comment? Okay. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, now moving into other business. First item on the agenda is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Thompson and Litton for Phase 2 of the architectural services for the new elementary school associated with the work for the Lynview Community Center. You can see within Phase 2 what that entails. As we discussed during the joint meeting of the Board of Education, Board Mayor and Alderman, in order to meet a timeline that has been laid out and was discussed in that meeting, there was a need to move forward now with at least the design elements of the demolition. That will then allow us to have a better understanding of what those costs are, where the funding needs to be, all of which will be part of our fiscal 27 budget discussions with the schools, which will be taking place in May with approval in June. This was presented to the Board of Education. This is an extension or an amendment, I should say, to the agreement that came to us back almost a year ago, in January 21st, 2025, with Thompson and Litton. As work progresses, we'll continue to bring this back, just as it will go back before the Board of Education first for approval and then on to the Board, Mayor, and Alderman. Again, this is the design work and the design work only for the demolition that will be taking place in order to prep the site for construction, an item that was deemed very, very important by all parties in working in this so that we meet certain timelines, being pad ready as we move forward. I will add that on February 5th, there is going to be a public meeting at the Lynview Community Center regarding this project and what is being proposed. So I know the Board of Education will be pushing that notice out here very soon. And we encourage everyone to sit down and look at all aspects, from the school, to the recreational facilities, to the roads, all of those different things, and what is being proposed, so that we have that input, which will be very valuable for decisions that we will jointly be making as we go down this path. Mayor, with that, we ask that you approve the resolution amending this contract.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement with Thompson Litton Incorporated for architectural and engineering services for Phase 2 of the new elementary school and associated work at the Lynview Community Center site, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Thompson and Litton for renovations at Dobbins Bennett High School. You see the renovations that are proposed there within the executive summary. The anticipated cost for this construction is around $2.8 million. Many of these have been items that have been in discussions by the Board of Education through Kingsport City School staff for some time. And just a complete total evaluation of cost and prioritizing expenditures have pushed some of them to the point where we're bringing them to you today. Right now, this again is design work that would then be moving later into the fiscal year for bid openings for this. The work is being funded through their fund balance, and we'd ask that you move forward with this item, authorizing the execution of this agreement with Thompson and Litton.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing an agreement with Thompson and Litton for renovations at Dobbins Bennett High School, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
Chris, is the 2.85, is that going to be funded if those costs hold up from their fund balance, you said?
Yes.
Okay, and the money from the renovation project, It's already there.
Correct.
Okay. We're just appropriating it.
Correct.
I would just like to say, I'm really glad that our school board, along with this board, works together as well as they do in keeping our school facilities current, and keeping them updated. Dobbins Bennett really is a really old school, as many of our schools are. And, but when you enter the facility, they're well-maintained. And just really grateful that we have a relationship with the school board, and particularly this board and past boards, with their effort and their concern in keeping our schools current. So, even though this is a very expensive, this is in the overall scheme of school renovations and school projects, this is really a small amount, but these small amounts really add up over time and save money in the long run.
Any other comment? You ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for Kingsport City Schools grades 9 through 12 teacher laptops from Dell Marketing LP. This, again, is another item coming to us from the Board of Education for approval. You see within the executive summary what is being purchased and the identification of funding in their general purpose school fund budget. With that, we'd ask that you move forward with approval of the resolution authorizing the execution of this purchase order.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Dell Marketing LP for laptops for Kingsport City Schools.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution renewing the award for generator services. You'll see back in January of 2022, we put proposals out. We received those back. The party that is continued to meet this, Nixon Power Services, provides an annual cost of just over $62,000. There's a multitude of generators within the city, whether at lift stations, pump stations, facilities that we manage that need to be serviced regularly. They've continued to hold that price. We've continued to renew with them, and that's what we're bringing back to you all once again, is to renew this for another year so that they can manage these generators. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for generator services to Nixon Power Services and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the renewal.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I think it's also important to note that this contract, I'm sure there are other vendors out there that could probably meet the spec, but this one was low bid, but also very important, Nixon can respond if a generator is down 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And they don't have to send somebody from Charlotte or Knoxville, it's local. So it's very important, especially for lift stations or 911 centers, so.
Very good. Good. Thank you. Any other discussion or comment? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to enter into a lease extension agreement with the Upper East Tennessee Human Development Agency, Inc. UETA has been in V.O. Dobbins for many, many years, operating a tremendous amount of the square footage that exists there. Staff has been in conversations with them for some time in regards to the renewal of this. You see within the body of the executive summary that this lease is doing two things. One, it's a 5-year extension, but also eliminates the utility cost-sharing model. which we believe will be more efficient in terms of just overall operation and as well as revenue to cover costs. And then also within that, you see a fixed rate as well as an increase of 20 cents annually. This is not only for finished space or office space, but also for storage. You see those amounts listed there. Again, long-standing relationship. Appreciate the work's been done by Park and Rec staff to put this lease together. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you adopt the resolution executing the lease.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving Amendment 3 to the lease between the City of Kingsport and Upper East Tennessee Human Development Agency and authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next is consideration of resolution to amend a lease agreement with the United Way of Greater Kingsport. This is a lease agreement or amendment to the existing lease that we have. This is a reduction of square footage that United Way currently has. This will allow actually members of our Park and Rec staff to be able to utilize that space as we, since moving out of the Civic Auditorium, have been primarily using V.O. Dobbins as our primary facility for Parks and Rec. This reduction in square footage also comes with a reduction in a monthly cost to the United Way of about $92 per month. Again, more efficient operations for them as well as more efficient use of that space for city needs. I appreciate the work that's been done on this amendment and would ask that you move forward with amendment number 2 to the lease agreement with United Way of Greater Kingsport.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving Amendment 2 to the lease between the City of Kingsport and the United Way of Greater Kingsport and authorizing the mayor to execute the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Seeing none, ready to vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase 3 2026 Chevrolet 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with police package utilizing the Tennessee state contract. These are 3 new vehicles that will be coming into our fleet with use within the fire department. These were things that Chief DeBerry and I have had in conversation for some time. This also aligns with organizational adjustments he's made for battalion chiefs and also what he desires to see respond to every scene. We've spent a lot of time looking at this. We asked you all several months back to allocate funds for this in order to meet the needs of what Chief DeBerry has for changes that he is facilitating within the fire department. We're glad to bring these 3 to you today. And ask that you move forward with execution of this.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 3 2026 Chevrolet 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab trucks with police package from Allen J. Fleet Sales utilizing Tennessee State Contract Number 88753 and authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker, seconded by Alderman George. Any discussion? Okay, ready to vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving change order 1 to the Boone Street demolition project and ratifying the mayor's execution of the same. As you know, these addresses 609 through 611 Boone Street is a demolition project. It's been undertaken by our building department. Despite the work that we had done early on for our asbestos survey, there was asbestos found within the site. There was a need then to go in and do an adjustment for that. In order for that to be removed, that change order is in the amount of $21,618, and this will allow for that work to continue. This was done administratively. This is simply being brought to you all for transparency to demonstrate the work that is being done. We anticipate them remobilizing back to the site as we get into the latter part of this month. But Alloy currently has several demolition projects going on within the city, and so this is just one of them. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution ratifying your signature and the execution of the change order.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a change order to the contract with Environmental Holdings Group doing business as Alloy Group for the demolition of 609 to 611 Boone Street, ratifying the mayor's execution of the same and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the change order.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to purchase a drone from Skydio for use by the Kingsport Police Department, utilizing a Sourcewell cooperative agreement. You see here within the executive summary, the cost of the drone is around $75,000. Again, it goes on to discuss the various purchasing requirements that we have in the United States and for purchasing of drones. In addition to that, the responsibility we have as operators for those uses. This has become a tool that has been very valuable to the police department. I'll also add the fire department has drones as well, and those are very valuable tools for a host of uses, and we have seen those play out here very recently, actually. So we'd ask that you allow us to move forward with the purchase of this drone, and I'll also add to this, I appreciate the work done by the police department to identify these funds coming from drug fund, federal seized funds, a little bit of local annual budget money in there, but the most of it they found through external sources, and I appreciate their due diligence on that. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Axon Enterprises Incorporated utilizing Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 101223-AXN for a drone for use by the Kingsport Police Department.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to refund Series 2013B general obligation bonds and issue general obligation refunding bonds Series 2026B up to $12,500 or $12,500,000. Yeah, I was going to say 12,000. We figured that out on our own. Travis did a great job in the work session walking through the refunding. This refunding, again, goes back to 2013 for multiple things and multiple groups within our city. I would add, I think it's important every time we evaluate a refunding, one of the things we're looking at is what kind of cost savings would we see. Over the last several years with interest rates kind of being lower or higher, I should say, in some areas, it's not really been advantageous. We were a point in time, we did quite a bit of these. But this one has the potential to save roughly $500,000 over the remaining life of that debt. Again, I appreciate the work that has been done. It is a good demonstration of good budget management. It's a demonstration of managing our debt. I believe I saw Elizabeth Zuelke come in with Raymond James, our financial advisor that works with us on this. It was her that identified this, worked with Travis to bring this to you all. And so with that, we'd ask that you move forward with approval of the resolution authorizing this refunding for these bonds.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
Resolution authorizing the execution, terms, issuance, sale, and payment of not to exceed $12,500,000 general obligation refunding bond series 2026B of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and providing the details thereof.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
I understand we're looking somewhere around 3.25% interest rate thereabout. That'd be a drop from 4%, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Fingers crossed.
yeah.
It's all up to Elizabeth.
So,
She's got complete control over all that.
yeah.
Well, I appreciated Travis kind of walking us through that today. I think he done a good job on that too, and it was a good discussion. So we appreciate the update on that as well.
Well, it's saving real dollars, you know, for the citizens, so that's great.
Okay. Any other discussion, comment?
I echo that. I think this is outstanding. So we always have hard problems to work on, but this is an opportunity that's been brought to us, to this board. So saving money and doing smart things financially. So appreciate the city staff for doing this.
Any other comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, the next item is consideration of an initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $16.5 million in general obligation public improvement bonds, Series 2026A. Again, as we discussed in the work session, and a good job by Travis to very much simplify what we're doing and explain the various adjustments that we have made in this. If you go back to our budget and the conversations we had in May and the capital budget that we were wrestling with, and ultimately the capital budget that we settled on for the general fund, we were anticipating around $10 million that would be needed to finance to fund very critical capital items. You see on the screen in front of you that list and kind of where that list stands today. What has changed? Well, a few things. Number one, the Washington School HVAC chiller was originally budgeted at $3 million. It came in at $2.3 million. We've had a need to fund our portion of the State Industrial Access Road. $750,000 is our share. The state of Tennessee will be funding over $30 million towards this. That is work that is scheduled to begin sometime this fall. It opens up 150 acres of developable land for us, and has been a project that Eastman and the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the state of Tennessee has been working on for some time. In anticipation of the exit from the Linview Community Center, we're being very proactive in our evaluation and need to move a long-standing project, which is the development of a parking lot in the front of that building, move that from concept to reality. The $750,000 allows us to do that and provide a much more pronounced front door for the Renaissance Center and the use it has as it continues to evolve more to being nearly 100% utilized by the senior center. The remaining projects for the general fund are items that we have had conversations about. Most of these are road improvements, and as we have stated for some time, these are road projects that are quickly moving into construction. And so you're going to see your dollars at work beginning this spring and really moving out through the next year. Some of these will be staged. For example, the work being done at Jesse and Memorial, that'll provide a new signalized intersection there. Jesse obviously fronts Ross and Robinson Middle School. We'll time that to be the summer after this one to give us time to not interfere with the school schedule in that work. In addition to the work that you see from the general fund, you also have sewer fund that is being funded at $3 million. We talked about the aquatic center. That will be something that we will issue at a separate time. And then also cattails, projects that you all have had in front of you for some time, whether that is through the pump house for the irrigation system or through new equipment to fund operations there. One of the things that we talked a lot about and we've had conversations about for several years is the ability to build the water and sewer funds up to use more cash for capital with less dependency on debt. For the first time, we were able to realize that this year, and I appreciate the work that Travis and his team did. Obviously, anytime you can fund something in cash versus having to bond it, it's to our advantage and most importantly to the ratepayers' advantage. So this sets everything in motion for the issuance of debt and the amount that you saw within the action form as a not-to-exceed amount. And then we'll deal with in the next action form, the execution of those bonds once the bids come in. Travis, anything else you want to add to this, as this has been your baby over the last several weeks?
I think you got it covered.
Very good. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
Initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $16,500,000 general obligation public improvement bond series 2026A of the city of Kingsport, Tennessee, to provide funding for certain public works projects and to fund the incidental and necessary expenses related thereto.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
You know, I appreciate the approach to this. When we can pay cash for projects like we're doing, Travis and I talked, that's saving the citizens real money because that's interest that we're not paying. I understand in the 24 CAFR, our debt ratio was at 3.9%. I think it's safe to say when the total assessed property value comes out for this year, it's going to be much below that. But this board, I feel like, is managing that aspect very, very well, not letting debt creep up. So I appreciate the work and the effort that was done on this.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I agree with Alderman Baker. I would just like to edify a little bit more on the cattails. I had some discussion with Travis about the $500,000 for maintenance equipment. So we had in our budget discussion this time last year, actually, May or June timeline, that we were leasing that equipment at Cattails. And I do remember that discussion. And so actually this is another cost savings because this is much cheaper for us to purchase the equipment than it is to continue leasing that. So incrementally, we are doing things a lot smarter and better, I think, with our finance. So I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Any other comment? Okay, ready to vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the execution, sale, and issuance of not to exceed $16.5 million in general obligation public improvement bond series 2026A. Again, as we stated, this is really allows the mayor to execute all the final terms after pricing of the bonds. And so we would ask that you approve that, authorizing that to occur once we receive the bids.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
Resolution authorizing the execution, terms, issuance, sale, and payment of not to exceed $16,500,000 general obligation public improvement bond series 2026A of the city of Kingsport, Tennessee, and providing the details thereof.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, we now move into the consent agenda. You have 2 items on there. I'll read through those. If you'd like either one pulled for additional discussion, please let me know. The first is consideration of a resolution to approve the permanent installation of 2 public art pieces. Second is consideration of resolution of formal acceptance of deeds of easement.
So we have two items on the consent agenda. May I have a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept both items on the consent agenda as presented.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
They're both really nice, but the Fox Den is really special.
Okay.
Good work.
Mr. Recorder, please have a roll call vote.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to both items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to both.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent items are approved, 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now move into the communication section of the agenda. Tonight, we of course doubled up with our work session ahead of the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. We had a great presentation from Greg Perdue, who's the chairman of the Kingsport Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board. The purpose of the presentation was talk to us about the former Lee apartment site and the opportunities that are now in front of them through a grant application that will allow them hopefully to access tax credits for the construction of the homes and the doors that were part of the demolition from many, many years ago of that site. This has been something that our city staff has been working very closely with them over the last couple of years to try to advance this. We think that if they're successful, what is being proposed, even if it has to be phased in based upon the availability of the credits, will be a very positive thing for that area. So I appreciate the work that's been done by our team, also by the Housing Authority, the consultants that they've brought in to try to get to this point. It's been a long time in the making. Nothing is guaranteed, but we feel good about what is going to be available to us, and then our opportunity to build back there. While we still may be greater than a year away, definitely putting things in motion and continuing to address all aspects of housing within the city of Kingsport. In addition to that, we had a very good presentation regarding capital projects, whether that's at the senior center or items that we've discussed within the bond issuance. One of the things that you all have pressed us to do, and in turn I have pressed our leadership team and management team to do, is bring these projects to fruition. And so as we issue the debt and you see those dollars made available, we're quickly moving into getting these projects under construction and moving quickly with that. So over the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of work done really to set the stage or a lot of work done that you all have set the stage for with the issuance of this debt. Appreciate the work that has been done by Elizabeth with Raymond James and Travis with the City of Kingsport on this. It's not something we take lightly. It is a major piece of our budget. Each and every year, we look closely at managing debt and where these dollars are used and the term that we have them under in order to move through very quickly and to make these things come to reality. Definitely when you look at this list, that's part of the 2026 issuance. This is the infrastructure. This is a lot of just basic things that we do as a city each and every day. The items pertaining to the data centers and cryptocurrency, I stated this in the work session, and it's worthy of stating again. This is not a one-size-fits-all. There are communities that are going to have to look at this, and what we've done may not work, but the job that Ken and Jessica and Bart and others did to bring this together definitely, as Alderman Mays stated, does make us a leader in the region with this, and I appreciate that work that has been done. Last but not least, there's a good possibility that it's going to snow this weekend. If you listen very carefully, you heard thousands of children scream in excitement along with teachers. The parents, not so much, but we are watching that weather very carefully. There's meetings taking place throughout the week. We will be prepared to manage that, but please check out our various social media channels regarding facility closures as it pertains to that, but definitely a pretty significant winter storm that, as of right now, looks like has the potential to be a big one.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Mays.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate Chris bringing up the weather event that's predicted for us. And I just want to express my appreciation to our public safety folks, our police and fire, and our public works. They're going to be working long hours this weekend, potentially, keeping our roads clear and safe. And, of course, public safety never sleeps. So I would just want to express my appreciation to all of them, and hope they stay safe this weekend.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I really enjoyed all the presentations, or the presentations always come with their work sessions. And I tell the citizens, if they really want to know what's going on in Kingsport, the work session is where you hear about the projects and all the things that are happening in Kingsport. At the business meeting, it's more formal, and there's not a lot of discussion. So every Monday before the business meeting on Tuesday, the first and third Monday at 4:30 is their work session. So if you really want to know what's going on or want to hear some really exciting things, that's the one you need to come to. That's when you see the presentations and you hear the discussion. It's more informal. So because I know that Alice Page that talked about the cryptocurrency, I had her talk to Ken before, but if she would have been at the presentation, she would have got some of her questions that she had answered. So the work session is open to the public, so it's at 4:30 on the Monday before our our business meeting on Tuesday. So those are the ones that kind of get you informed. I really enjoyed the KHRA presentation. This is the first time in 8 years I've been on the board that I've been hopeful about about what's going to happen at Lee School. It's every year. For a while we were doing the same thing and nothing was happening, but this time it seems like there's a chance that something great's going to come to the center of our town. So those are always nice to hear at work sessions.
I was also very pleased with the presentation on Lee and the changes at the state level so that we have a good opportunity to have the tax credits. I appreciate that you scheduled that when James was not here, since he would have been the most interested and has asked the most questions about that.
I don't think he could have talked if he was
Here, so, but, but I thought, I was like Betsy and everybody else, it's the first time that I have felt that it's a real positive about that this can happen, and the way they presented it, the information available and the tax credits and what this could look like in the partnership and what it could put back was it was very positive. I was really pleased with that. The presentations were really good, and I know we're all thinking about the snow, but next week we also do not have any heat for the whole outside world. We think it's going to stay below freezing, which is wonderful because it does kill all the bugs. But I really, I'm going to think really positive, good thoughts for all the people with utilities department, because we will have water breaks, and I will be sitting at home where hopefully I have power and it's warm, and they will be out dealing with that. And I truly appreciate all of our city workers that will be out in that cold, because when you have that stretch of a cold, it's never good. The other thing I want to say is it is election time for all elected officials. The county commission is, they are picking up at this point, and their forms are due on February 19th. We are all in the city of Kingsport, or not all. We have some people are Hawkins County, but the rest of the people are Sullivan County in the city of Kingsport. What the county commission does is so important to the city. And so I hope we have people that really care about Kingsport and our city, that are in these different districts, that will consider running to be a county commissioner. It does make a real difference. I know a lot of people have picked up in certain districts, and some districts have not had as much participation in picking up. But if you live in Kingsport and you really care about some of the issues of the whole big picture of Sullivan County, please consider running for a county commission. And I also want to say that I've enjoyed this for 13 years, but I will not be running, so my seat will be open. So I figure anybody watching this tonight, you actually care about Kingsport enough to watch us when it's a meeting, and these are kind of boring. Work sessions are really interesting, we do good things, but, and so I hope people will think about running to be an alderman and to serve up here. We do need people that truly care about Kingsport, the big picture, and everything that's going on. And if anybody is interested, I'm happy to talk to anybody about, as everybody is here, about what we do, the time involved, how much you do talk to citizens, and, all the benefits the information that we receive. But we do need people that, if you care enough to watch us on TV, you care enough to be an alderman, pick up a petition. That's it for me.
Thank you. Alderman Baker?
I'm good.
Vice Mayor?
Just a couple of things. Yesterday, some of us participated in the MLK parade, and so I'd just like to thank everybody who participated in it and organized it as well. Very appreciative of that. Plus, our first responders, Chief, they were at every corner, every parking lot, and keeping everybody safe during that too. So I appreciate that. And then just a little update. Our city is still very attractive to people moving in here. So for 2025, we had 591 families that chose Kingsport to live. That's 2.4 families per working day that's moving here. And so that's a little bit down from what it was in 2024 by a little bit, not a significant margin, but the interest rates have been higher too. So our city's still very desirable to live, work, and play, and raise families. So what we already know. So let's welcome these people here.
Thank you. I too want to give a shout out to KHRA. They did a good job presentation tonight, and it's a long time coming. And so kudos to Greg and the board and Terry Cunningham and staff. So great things are happening there. The last thing I'll mention is get ready for the chamber dinner next on January 30th, and it's supposed to be another big event. With that said, this meeting is adjourned.